What's up, guys? Welcome to my kitchen. We are going to be in here today meal prepping for the week, and I figured that this would be a great thing to show you because I get a ton of questions about meal prepping. I get a ton of questions about how to structure meal preps, and to be quite honest, this is going to be a very real life how I actually meal prep. Nothing fancy, a lot of shortcuts, honestly, because I'm trying to do this as efficiently as possible, get some good meals made for the rest of the week, and make sure that we can have some of our Sunday left to do other stuff. So that's what we're going to be going through in this video. I'm going to show you all the things I'm buying, how I'm buying them, how I'm putting them together, and getting us ready for another week ahead. So let's do it. So the real step one, before we even get into the cooking part of meal prepping, is grocery shopping. And grocery shopping is one of those things that I love to do if I have a lot of time to wander around a grocery store, see what's seasonal, see what's on sale, pick stuff. I love that. And these days, I don't seem to have much of that. So I try to find the most efficient way possible to grocery shop and make sure I have things on deck, ready to go so that I can meal prep and make quick and easy meals throughout the week that are nutritious. So the way that I have been meal prepping and the way that's been working really well for me is I do a big Costco haul once a month where I try to buy most of my protein sources in that one haul, and then I'll freeze a lot of it for the rest of the month, and then I'll just defrost what I need for that week for the meals. So today I have my chicken thighs and my ground turkey. So these are gonna be my primary protein sources that I'm using in today's meal prep. And then in addition to this, in my freezer right now, I have a whole nother bag of chicken. I have, I think, 2 more containers of this ground turkey. I have some frozen salmon and some frozen cod. So what I do every week is I figure out what I'm gonna make that week, and then usually on Friday, I will take everything out of the freezer, put it in my fridge so it can defrost, so I'm ready to go by Sunday to cook the protein. This is also very cost efficient because you are buying it in such big quantities. Costco is basically the cheapest place for me to buy groceries on island. I'm in Hawaii, so groceries are not cheap. So I try to buy my protein in bulk there because I get the best deal for it. However, if you don't have a ton of freezer space, I understand this probably won't work for some people, but it's just a way that I found that works really well for me. So that's the protein side. And I always start with the protein because that's what I base all of my meals around. I'm trying to get in as much protein into my meals through whole food sources as I can so that I'm not overly relying on supplements throughout the week. So I always try to base my meals around the protein and then build out from there. So protein, Costco, once a month, big haul, freezer, defrost. That's what we got going on here. In the middle is my produce. So this is where we can start to kind of mix and match and make the meals exciting and different. And I like to make sure I'm using a different variety of produce also for good gut microbiome, fiber, and then just to make things tasty and flavorful. And I try to buy things that are pretty easy for me to cook. So I was really lazy this week, honestly, because yesterday I was out all day. I didn't have time to do a lot of the produce shopping that I would like to. So last night we made a quick run to H Mart and I just picked up a bunch of these veggies that have already been cut. So this is honestly, if you're short on time, this is a hack right here. If you go to a grocery store near you that offers produce that's already been washed, prepped, peeled, whatever it is, this will save you a ton of time. It is a little bit pricier. So I will say that buying a container of sliced carrot like this is $4 versus I could buy carrots probably for $1 per pound if I just bought regular carrots. So it is a little pricier. However, in the case of time versus money, I'm prioritizing time this week. So this was my choice. So I got all of my produce here. I have a bunch of different ones that have been washed, chopped, and ready to go. And then I have my baby spinach and some mushrooms. And this is what I'm going to be using in our different recipes today. Last but not least, this is more of the fun stuff. This is going to be our sauces and our seasonings. So sauces and seasonings, this is kind of where you can make things taste different, where you can get a little more creative. I like to rely on my kind of staples. I always have some of these ingredients in my fridge. So I always have my Asian focused seasoning. So I have all of my sriracha sauce. I have this Fly by Jing paste. I have some oyster sauce. And then I have like my other essentials like my salt, my pepper, all of that stuff. So this is kind of where you can have things in your fridge and then get creative with whatever you have on hand and use those things. Today, one of the meals we're going to be making is a curry base. So I do have some red curry paste, some coconut milk here. Those aren't ingredients I use every week, but again, kind of mixes it up, makes it different. So the meals that I will be cooking today, we're gonna make 2 different meals using our different protein sources as the star of those meals. So the first is gonna be a baked chicken thigh with stir-fried veggies, and then the second is gonna be a curry meatball with some curried veggies in a nice red curry sauce. So that's what we're gonna be making today, and let's get after it. So when you're meal prepping, a big tip I have is making sure that you're splitting up where you're cooking things so that you're not crowding all into one thing. So for example, I'm gonna be using the oven for my protein. So I'm gonna be cooking my chicken and my meatballs in there. And I wanna make sure that I'm splitting it up so that I'm not trying to cook everything in there at once. So I'm gonna be starting the chicken thighs because those will be relatively quick and easy to prep and then get in the oven. And then while my chicken thighs are cooking, I'm gonna be making my meatballs. And so once the chicken's done, I can take that out and then put my meatballs in there. So that way we have a seamless process between transferring things in and out of the oven. And then while my meatballs are cooking, that's when I'll be doing my stuff on the stove with my veggies. So we got our ground turkey. We're adding an egg and some green onion. And I'm gonna wash my hands, hold on. Some garlic, some minced garlic, a lot of minced garlic. Some fly-by-jing. I'm just gonna dump the rest of what's in here because that's how we cook. We don't really measure anything. And some sriracha. So these are gonna be like spicy Asian meatballs. That's what we're going for. And we're gonna mix it all up. So pro tip when you're making your turkey meatballs is to get your hands wet. So I have a bowl here that's just for getting my hands wet because it'll help you to make the balls easier without everything sticking together. We're gonna make some meatballs and roll them up, put them on our sheet pan, and then get them in the oven once our chicken's out. All right, we are making the sauce. We're gonna be sauteing some onions and then adding in our curry paste and coconut milk. And then I'm gonna cook down our pumpkin so that it gets nice and soft before we add the other veggies. And then we'll finish off by adding our cooked meatballs. Our meatballs are still uncooked, so we gotta put those in the oven once the chicken's out. We're gonna add our coconut milk. Got our onions sauteed a little bit, so I'm gonna add a can of coconut milk. This is just regular coconut milk. I don't know, it's nothing fancy, and I shook it up. And we're gonna pour this in here first. Turn down our heat a tiny bit, and then I'm gonna add my curry paste. So I'm gonna add some curry paste. I'm doing probably like 2 tablespoons worth. Again, I don't really measure most things, so we're gonna see how this goes and then taste and see what we need to adjust. I do have another can of coconut milk if we need to add more, if it's too strong. But I'm gonna mix in my curry paste. This is red Thai curry paste, but you could use really whatever kind of curry you have or curry you like. I've done green curry before, and that's really good. I figured red would be something different. I think it's a little spicier. But we're just gonna add this in, get it nice and mixed into our coconut milk, and then bring it up to a simmer before we add our kabocha squash. It's bubbling. All right, we're gonna add our kabocha in, let this cook. Kabocha, we're gonna mix it, and then we're gonna cover it, and then it's gonna bubble for a little while before we add our other stuff. So for our stir-fry veggies, we got some onion, we got some zucchini, we got our carrots, Last but not least, my personal favorite, some mushrooms. These are Whittier mushrooms, but any mushrooms you got will do. I just like the texture. If you hate mushrooms, don't add mushrooms. While our stir fry is going, I'm checking our pumpkin, and the kabocha is cooked all the way through, so you just want to basically pierce it, and once the chopstick or spoon goes all the way through, you're going to add your other veggies. So we're going to grab the rest of the veggies I just left out from our stir fry. So I'm adding in my zucchini, some of the carrots, and our broccoli. We're going to mix all of this together. I'm using extra long chopsticks. I actually like using them because, especially for cooking this kind of stuff, it's easier to kind of move stuff around the pan. And these are extra long for cooking so that when you're using them, you don't get stuff splashed on you. So I can still use them to move stuff around without getting splashed by oil. So my curry has reduced quite a bit, so I think I am going to add the second can of coconut milk just so we have enough of the curry sauce, and then when we throw in our meatballs there's enough to go around for everything. So I'm adding a second can of coconut milk, and we're going to stir all of this together, and we're going to just bring it back up to a light simmer. And then my stir fry veggies are getting a little bit cooked through. We don't want them to get mushy. So the big thing is just hot, very hot pan, high heat, and then just kind of continuing to move them around a little bit. And then we're gonna add in our sauce for our stir fry veggies. So the biggest thing for our sauce is gonna be oyster sauce. So this is just good old regular oyster sauce we're gonna be adding to our veggies. And then we're gonna add a little bit of cooking sake. So this is Japanese cooking sake. I'm just gonna add a tiny bit to there. Give it a good mix. And last but not least, fresh cracked pepper. I'm gonna do a pretty good amount of this. Give it a tiny bit of heat. And stir fried veggies are done. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of garnish on top too. So we got our final product here. This is all of the meals that we cooked today. So we have our red Thai curry meatballs with some veggies. We have our baked chicken thighs, our stir fry veggies, and then this is just some extra spinach I'm gonna be throwing in with the curry. And then last but not least, the other hack that I have that saves a lot of time is these rice containers. They are just 1 minute in the microwave. You just throw them in there and then you can add them to whatever meals you're making. So I have these on the side because Ricky and I eat different amounts of carbs. He eats a lot of carbs because he runs a lot of miles. I try to do minimal to no carbs in a lot of my meals unless it's a pre-workout meal. So I'll just give him one of these and then he can heat it up when he heats up his meal. So I'm gonna go ahead and assemble everything and we'll be all done for today. All right, so we got Ricky and producer Jod and
Ricky.
Hi.
This is my favorite pot.
We're gonna taste test the food. Yes. Honest reactions. If it's not good, pretend like it is. Ricky's eating the meatball.
I have a meatball.
Ricky's the easiest taste tester because he has a very
Can I stop mine?
easy to please palate. Jordan has the chicken and vegetables and rice. And I have the meatball. Because Jordan doesn't like spicy, and I forgot.
It does have a little bit of a kick.
It does, yeah.
It's good. I like honestly, the consistency of the meatball with the curry is really, really good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I will say, it could use a little salt. The curry, Could use a little dash of salt.
She's right. I'm an easy critic.
Ricky's an easy critic. This is why I have to also taste things before I give it to other people. Because Ricky says everything tastes good, and then I'll try it, and I'm like, this doesn't taste good.
It's a good life. Just imagine like everything is great. That's me with food.
It's actually good, Jordan. Nice. I feel like Jordan's a true critic. He's very critical.
I'm gonna steal this one. The vegetables are really good.
Successful first meal prepping video.
You killed it.
We did it.
Ate some very good meals.
Hell yeah. All right.
All right. Go team.
Go team. Bye.
Bye.